You know, I think when you look at it, Robert Kraft has been successful as a business owner, but he's a fan. Being a fan of this team, I think growing up in the New England area, having his home there, is a totally different thing than just a guy who got rich and bought a football team. He cares. He cares about what they mean to the community, to the New England area, and he wants to make sure they have success because he knows how that affects everyone around that area. And I think that's been at the heart of what has made him the successful owner that he's been. Obviously, he's a smart businessman. He understands you put the right people in the right places and you let them go. Bill Belichick has autonomy unlike any other coach probably in the National Football League, and he's deserved it, as you can see. But, you know, to find him as the guy you want to run your franchise to begin with, and then to let him run it and not get in the way, which is something that not every owner does, I think says a lot about Robert Kraft. But I think all of that comes from the fact that really, deep down in his heart, he has always been a Patriot fan, so this means more to him than just a business. You know, I think that two things. Robert Kraft has admitted to a certain degree that, yeah, this is a revenge tour, that it would be important for his team after, you know, the Brady suspension and the lost draft picks and the fine and all that stuff, for them to kind of, you know, say, see, you still can't stop us, and to win. So I think that's important. But as he also said, there's nothing quite like your first. So your fifth would be special because very few franchises have been able to do that. No player, at least quarterback, has been able to do that. Charles Haley's the only player that's won 5 Super Bowls. So I think it would mean a lot to Brady, and I think Brady means a lot to Mr. Kraft. Therefore, it would mean a lot to Mr. Kraft. But yeah, it happening this year probably would be more special than if it happened another year or two down the road. Without question, the most important decision was hiring Bill Belichick. You know, I mean, here was a guy who Belichick had not had success, a lot of success, I should say, with the Cleveland Browns, got fired, was an assistant, and then had taken the job as the head coach of the New York Jets because of a whole contractual thing, and he got put in the position when Bill Parcells retired. But, you know, Mr. Kraft still went out and said, hey, this is the guy we want to be our head coach, and was willing to get rid of draft picks to get Bill Belichick as his guy because he saw something in him that I think not a lot of owners saw, especially at that time. So I think there's no decision, obviously, it's worked out on the football field. But, you know, even if you want to look at it from a business standpoint, that franchise is much more valuable now because they're a winning franchise, because they win year in and year out. And I think a lot of that would not have happened had he not hired Belichick.